Well, we're here with Bob Graham from SKO Brenner American. Is that correct? And you're the Senior Vice President, Consumer Division.
That's correct.
What kind of company is this?
SKO Brenner American is an outsourced solution provider for the direct response industry. We specialize in customer retention, billing resolution, and collections.
Only for the direct response industry?
We also have some other vertical markets that the commonality is high volume, small dollar balanced consumer obligations. We do work in the healthcare industry and represent firms such as LabCorp of America, Prometheus Laboratories, plus many regional as well as national healthcare providers.
What are the challenges in your industry?
Well, our challenges are really not so much what we face, but rather what our clients are facing. In the direct response industry, we very often are working with companies that are either using soft offers, multi-pays, or continuity offers. And what we do is we correct the defaulted payments that will occur when the consumer uses a credit card to make payment.
So then the problems are with the consumers?
Well, it's not so much with the consumer, but rather with the billing processes. Inherently, what happens is that we see what is referred to as soft declines. That will be where the credit card has maxed out, it may have expired, or the consumer inadvertently has closed out that credit card without realizing he still had some additional installments due.
And how then can the direct response industry do better?
Well, by bringing a service like ours in, what we can do is very often correct anywhere from 25 to 50% of those defaulted payments, bring them back on board in a fashion that is, you'll be able to sell other goods and services to them as well as getting paid for that specific obligation. We also have, as part of our resources, we're a licensed national collection agency. So if we can't do it in a very soft-gloved fashion, representing ourselves as, say, the billing resolution department of like a Gunty Renker or Thame Marketing, we could do that then underneath our licensed collection agency. And all that means to the client is that we're going to get more cash, there'll be less headaches, there'll be a seamless integration from one level of billing processes to the next.
Should, though, the direct response industry contact you earlier, or should they wait for problems?
Well, one of the things that we've managed to do is understand what does a credit offer provide the marketer as far as potential market lift. Also, what kind of credit drag may be created for a specific type of campaign. For example, a soft offer where you have a relatively low monthly teaser rate, then going into a multi-pay offer, is going to delay the receivable payout for the marketer, and they need to be aware of that. They also need to understand that depending on how many, say, installments they're using, how much default would they anticipate, and then how much of it can they get back with the right resources in place.
Does emerging technologies come into what you do at all?
Oh, absolutely. This past year alone, we've spent over $250,000 in our call center by upgrading our telephony technology. And it's down to things where we're doing what we refer to as right party connects, where we're actually having the consumer validate who do we have on the phone before it goes to a live operator. All these mean is that our operators will spend more time with the right person who is responsible for the obligation.
But now a significant portion of the population is becoming Hispanic. How do you handle that?
Well, our call centers all have bilingual capabilities. Plus, we also have an offshore solution in the Philippines. We recognized a long time ago that Spanish is really an integral part of today's society in the U.S., and we want to make sure we have the right resources in place for our clients.
What's the future hold for the direct response industry and your company?
Well, I see growth, and I'm not saying that just to be self-serving, but it is, especially with the blending between these different marketing channels, say direct response television or radio, and also integrating over into the web, driving the consumer to the web off of your ads, along with giving them a phone center option to always speak to make an order. Now,
Bob, how did you come to this industry?
Oh, purely by accident. I can assure you. I actually, at one time, was working for Kraft General Foods in a financial analyst position. And I did have some consumer credit background, and I got recruited. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, I've spent 30 years supporting the direct response industry with billing resolution.
Now, you also told me, when we talked earlier, that you appreciate an ability to have a soft sell, a soft collect.
Sure.
So what fires you more in your mornings? The soft approach or the help to the industry?
Well, they're actually the same thing. The end goal is to bring the consumer back, let them understand that there was a default in a payment. Part of our approach is what we refer to as a first-party touch, is where we're representing ourselves as the client's billing and resolution department. And it's actually invisible from our operator standpoint. It's just then later on, if the consumer does not resolve the situation, and if you notice I use the word resolve rather than pay the bill, is that we will then escalate to the next level, that being as a collection agency. All right, going back, I look at it as that we really are a communicator on behalf of the marketer to let the consumer become aware that there was a default, and then bring the resources to allow the consumer to fix that situation in a fashion that they still feel good about it.
Bob Brenner, Bob Graham, SKO Brenner.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you.